Order. Ms. Secretary, please call the roll.
Senators, or Chair Trent.
Here.
Senators Gregory.
Here.
Bernskoetter.
Are you here?
He said his name wrong. He's not going to answer to it.
Did I say Bernskoetter? I meant to. Thank you. Carter. Coleman.
I'm here.
McCreary.
Here.
And Weber.
Did you say Weber or Webber?
Weber. Thank you. We have a quorum.
All right, excellent. Quorum being present, I make a motion that we go into executive session. Do I have a second? It's been seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. And all those opposed say nay. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. We're in executive session. I next move that we bring before the committee Senate Bill 937. Do I have a second? It's been seconded. If everyone will recall, this is Senator Bernsketter's bill, his land conveyance bill. And are there any questions or any further comments from the committee?
Mr. Chairman, I have a sub that I've distributed. Has everybody got it? O2C. Do you want to look at mine? My staff said they distributed it to everybody. I assume they emailed it to you, but I apologize that there weren't paper copies. Okay, I'm not gonna, nobody has this, never mind. We'll just do it I'll talk to you, Senator, and we can talk about doing it on the floor. What that was doing was, just so you guys aren't surprised later, what it was trying to do was, and we had talked to Senator Bernsketter's office about this, included a couple of new provisions. One is a standalone bill that was filed last year, late in the process, and then I also filed it this year and has a hearing coming up next week that allows the governor's office to prepare a list of properties that would then allow the General Assembly to have people opt out rather than having to actively opt in to try to get things to be a little bit more efficient for non-productive property. So giving the legislature a power still to have oversight, but allowing people, the governor's office, more flexibility to get rid of unproductive properties. And then reducing some of the deed restrictions that are often accompanying public properties upon conveyance. So one of the things that can hinder public property from being sold is some of the adjacent deed restrictions that are put on by various political subdivisions. And so this would allow more flexibility for more buyers to get a higher dollar by not having, by overriding some of those deed restrictions. So we can talk about that on the floor, I guess. I don't want to hang things up while we don't have it. So thanks, guys.
All right. Well, I make a motion that the committee vote do pass Senate Bill 937. Do I have a second? It's been seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, I renew my motion that Senate committee vote do pass Senate Bill 937. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Chair Trent.
Aye.
Senators Gregory. Bernskoetter. Carter. Coleman. McCreary. Sorry. And Weber.
Aye.
Thank you. It's 6-1.
By your vote of 6 aye and 1 no, you have voted do pass.
6-0, I'm sorry.
6 ayes and 0 noes. You have voted do pass Senate Bill 937. I next make a motion that we bring before the committee Senate Bill 918. Do I have a second? It's been seconded. So this is Senator Berger's bill on changing provisions regarding admissibility of expert testimony to mirror the federal rules of evidence. I make a motion that the committee vote do pass Senate Bill 918. Do I have a second? It's been seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, I renew my motion that Senate committee vote do pass Senate Bill 918. Ms. Secretary, please call the roll.
Chair Trent.
Aye.
Senators Gregory.
Aye.
Bernskoetter. Carter. Coleman.
Aye.
McCreary.
No.
and Weber.
Thanks, DeGroot.
Yeah, 4-2.
By your vote of 4 ayes and 2 noes, you have voted to pass Senate Bill 918. Finally, I make a motion that we bring Senate Bill 973 before the committee. Do I have a second? It's been seconded. All those. I make a motion. I'm sorry. I make a motion that the committee vote do pass Senate Bill 973. If everyone will recall, this was the bill that I presented protecting consumers against fraud and deceptive practices and wholesaling practices for realtors. Is there any discussion on the motion? Proceed.
My understanding that there have been some discussions on some changes. Is there a sub for it, or?
No, there's no sub at this time. Was there a...
Okay. Well, we had some conversations with the realtors. Is there?
We're all having sub problems today.
We did, and evidently I didn't bring it. You want to just vote on it next week, or do you want to do it on the floor?
All right, since there's some confusion over that, we'll reconvene and discuss that. So I'll withdraw that motion for now, and we'll bring this up again next week once we have everything squared away on that. Yeah, no, I'm happy to work with you on this, and sorry we weren't quite on the same page here today. So I make a motion that we leave executive session. It's been seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed, say no. We have exited, the ayes have it, and we have exited executive session. We'll now proceed with public hearings, beginning with Senate Bill, let's just go in order here, 1019. Senator Crawford, please proceed when ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. For the record, Sandy Crawford, District 28. Thanks for the opportunity to present a couple of bills to you this afternoon. Senate Bill 1019, with the one we're starting with, would allow hospitals to invest up to 50% of their funds that are not required for operations of the hospital or other obligations. The current limit is 25%. We want to raise that to 50%. This bill spells out exactly what they can invest those funds in, so this will allow them to have better returns on their money. This bill only impacts district and municipal hospitals. 2 years ago, we granted the same statutory authority to county hospitals. In addition, Senate Bill 1019 allows municipal hospitals in third-class counties to operate in areas where hospital district hospitals and county hospitals operate. This will allow improved access to our underserved areas. Happy to answer any questions. I do have an expert witness behind me that is the CEO of one of the hospitals in my district, and I bet he can answer any question you might have.
Very good. Questions for the bill sponsor from the committee? Seeing none. First witness in support. Please proceed when ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the committee, and thank you, Senator Crawford. I've never been referred to as an expert before, so I'm glad that's on record. And my name is Craig Thompson. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Golden Valley Memorial Healthcare in Clinton, Missouri. We're a district hospital. In Missouri, there are essentially 3 types of governmental hospitals. There are municipal or city-owned, county, and then district. And as Senator Crawford mentioned, 2 years ago, these same provisions were allowed for county hospitals. And there are a couple things that would benefit. If you look across the state, most of these governmental hospitals are going to be rural hospitals. There are some exceptions, most notably NKC Health in Kansas City would be a district hospital that's located in a metropolitan area. But for the most part, they're going to be rural hospitals. I think it's well known, some of the plight of rural hospitals, so anything we can do to help to add to our bottom line or support revenue to increase services is important. One opportunity to do so would be to diversify our investments. Right now we're very limited on what those funds can be, those reserve funds can be invested in. And even a few years ago, when interest rates were more favorable than they are today, we are also limited by time on how long we can invest in those types of vehicles. Even though they are governmental-backed securities, we're limited to 5 years. So a few years ago, when rates were higher, if we could have invested 7 or even 10 years, it would have provided some better return over a period of time. So being able to diversify those investments would be beneficial for a lot of reasons. The other aspect that this bill allows for would be for those hospitals, both municipal and district, to provide services outside of their defined borders. And when we look at, there's a couple of things that make this even more timely than it was a couple of years ago. One item is this Rural Health Transformation Program that we're excited to see come to bear. If you look at the state's application that was approved by CMS, there is a big emphasis on partnerships and collaboration. Right now, some of the statute limits the opportunity to collaborate and partner outside of your district borders because you can't essentially set up facilities there. In our case, there was a hospital in Osceola, Missouri, not all that long ago that closed. We would technically be prohibited from setting up a clinic or other services within that community, even though we service that community regularly, provide significant services to St. Clair County. We're in Henry County, but right now, technically, we can't do so. So Missouri's got some gaps in terms of access to healthcare, especially in rural areas. This would help to address some of those gaps.
Questions from the committee? Yes, proceed.
Is that the problem about being able to serve other places? Would that be fixed in this bill, or is that just another, where is that? I must have just missed it. I saw the investment piece, but not that part.
It would be fixed with this bill. I don't have it in front of me.
Do you want to use my copy?
I've got one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The Chapter 96,
Right.
moving
Yep.
up.
That's where it's fixing
By
it.
striking 205 and 206. So we're taking it out of CON, basically.
Well, the CON is totally separate. So if you were going to
I'm sorry, I'm asking really dumb
No,
questions.
you're not at all. So if you're gonna build a hospital, let's say, you would need to go through the CON process.
Yeah.
This would even be things as simple as a clinic.
Like taking over the clinic would even have to be required.
Right. If you're gonna build a new clinic in a community outside of your district borders or municipal borders, that currently isn't allowed.
That's not a CON problem, though. That's
Nope.
a Chapters 96 or 205
Correct,
problem.
because it limits what you can do outside of the borders. Yeah.
Okay, real quick housekeeping. We didn't catch which organization you were part
Oh,
of.
I'm sorry, Golden Valley Memorial Healthcare in Clinton, Missouri.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Further questions? Proceed.
I was just wondering, probably the origin of that was to save taxpayer money so that you didn't have like multiple buildings all being paid for. Like, there was probably a need for that at one point.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't around at that point in time.
Okay.
I suspect you're exactly right. I suspect there was thought around, if these entities are tax-based supported,
Mm-hmm.
would you want that tax base invested outside of areas that collect that tax revenue?
Okay.
The bill actually addresses that, because there has to be no more than 3% of total funds coming from taxes. Like in the case of our organization, we have $0 that come from taxes.
Right.
We were established through the Hill-Burton Act back in the late 60s, early 70s. We were a taxing entity until about 1983. Since then, we support everything we do through operations. So for us, there is no tax-based support. And I think if you look at a lot of these governmental hospitals across the state, and again, it's not true of all, but a lot of them, their tax-based support is a very small percentage of their total revenue.
Yep, okay. And then my other question is just like logistically now, the way the current law is, so you have excess funds that you're not going to need. So and you can only invest up to 25%. Like, what logistically, what are you doing with that other money that is available?
Yep.
Is it just cash in the bank, or?
So we can invest 100% of our reserves,
Okay.
but only 25% can be diversified. The other 75% currently have to be invested in vehicles that are provided through governmentally backed, like a CD or a treasury.
Okay.
So it's very limited scope. So there really isn't an opportunity to diversify those funds. This really would allow for us to diversify a larger portion of those funds in hopes of better return over time, or at least some shielding over time.
And realistically, I'm assuming it's not the board making that decision, but you would hire somebody, somebody that's an expert in these things?
Yep. And even now we do that, even with our limited capacity to invest. All hospitals have an investment policy they follow, which provides guardrails, but then we would engage someone to help us find, the safest vehicles with the best possible return.
Okay, thanks.
Further questions for this witness from the committee? Yes. Senator, please proceed.
So it's only been 2 years. Do we have any information on what's happened with the county hospitals that got this ability?
I have just some subjective feedback from those hospitals. All have been happy with the opportunity and pleased with the opportunity to continue to diversify their investments. More importantly, I think they've helped to meet some needs in some areas by being able to expand some services to areas that were previously underserved.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Further questions for this witness? Seeing none, thank you for that testimony. Further witnesses here testify in support? Seeing none, any witnesses here testify in opposition? Senate Bill 1019. Seeing none, any witnesses here testify for informational purposes only? Seeing none, that will conclude the public hearing on Senate Bill 1019. We'll next proceed to public hearing for Senate Bill 1020. Senator, please proceed. We're
Thank you,
ready.
Mr. Chair. Again, for the record, Senator Sandy Crawford, District 28. Senate Bill 1020, happy to be here today to present it as well. Our Missouri license offices operate under contracts awarded through a competitive bid process, and in the rural areas, these offices often fail to attract qualifying bids, and this leaves the Department of Revenue with two options. They can either rebid the contract or they can permanently close the office. I actually had this situation in one of my counties a few years ago. Cedar County, their current person did not bid, nobody bid, and so they came to me, they're like, we don't want to lose our fee office, and so I talked to the Department of Revenue, they opened the bid back up. Still nobody did it. Again, we thought we had somebody to bid and it didn't happen. And the third time, we had to open the bid up 3 times. Thankfully, they were very patient with me and the county. And the third time they were successful, but it did take some time. So this bill would authorize the Department of Revenue to enter into a contract without rebidding if there were no qualified bids received during the initial request. Again, this is just in the event that there were no bids at all. This would streamline the process. It would reduce waste and accelerate, in some cases, the reopening of license offices. And without this bill, the state will continue just wasting resources, continually having to rebid if this happens, and we can risk losing some of our license offices. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Senator, for that presentation. This is a surprisingly common occurrence. I've had a similar experience. And oftentimes, the state will deploy a mobile office, which can't be as efficient as the regular office.
Right, you're like me. You represent several small counties, and that's it can be a problem for sure.
Any questions from the committee? Yes, Senator, please proceed.
I just had a technical question about no competitive bids. So is that the kind of thing that we could get into litigation about whether a bid was competitive or not?
I think Zach can answer that. He's nodding his head. I think he can answer that question for you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Further questions from the committee? Oh, yes, Senator, proceed.
Thank you. So last year, we doubled the fees for all of the fee offices, 100%. Do you think that, because I thought one of the reasons that the legislature did that is that you thought it would, that more people would be interested in running these offices? Are you seeing any indication that that has helped?
Zach may be able to answer that question as far as
Okay.
if the bidding is a problem. I can tell you from the fee office in my county that I live in, I'd spoken to her when we were in the process of trying to get that done last year, and she told me how important it was for her to be able to remain viable. And so she was very excited that we were able, so I know it helped.
Okay.
Zach may have some stats on if it's helped in this issue as
Okay,
well.
great, thank you.
Any further questions for the bill sponsor? Seeing none. First witness testify in support.
All right. Good morning. I'm Zach Wyatt. I'm the Legislative Director for the Missouri Department of Revenue. I'm here to testify this morning in support of Senate Bill 1020. Here's my witness protection form for you.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, the underlying, so the bill really stems from the rural offices that we've, and it's not actually been rural offices that we've seen this happen, where we've sent out multiple bids requests for these offices. St. Louis City had the same thing happen to them just a couple of years ago. We had to bid that office 3 times before we even got someone to bid on it. And as Senator Coleman spoke about in regards to the competitive bid process, so we would only deploy this when we got no bids at all. Like, if we got like one bid and it might have not have been sufficient enough, we would do a BAFO and ask more questions or to ask for more information for them to return to us. But it's not that we would say, oh, we got one.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Chairman, may I ask a question?
Yes.
BAFO, best and final offer, sorry.
Please proceed.
I knew that's what you, yeah, so best and final offer. And essentially, when we send those out, we ask for more clarifying information from them to make sure their bid's whole.
So just a quick question then. You've got no competitive bids, not no bids. Do you think that somebody might have a bid rejected? I know you're saying that you wouldn't do it if you didn't get any bid at all, unless you got no bid at all.
Well,
but
any
my
bid that comes in as a competitive bid, we would consider that.
That's what I'm asking. Is
Yeah.
that a term of art, competitive
yes,
bid?
yes,
Or is
yeah.
that just a
For
descriptor?
procurement processes, any bid that comes into the state would be considered a competitive bid.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
That was just a procedural question.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. And as Senator Trent spoke about, he had this happen in his district, the license office in Lamar. I will tell you, we hear from the community, people say they want to bid on these offices, they want to bid it. Well, someone can tell you they want to bid on it, and then when they go into like Modifies and see the process of what they have to do, that usually they're like, no, I don't want to do that. That's too much. Or it just, they're saying they want to bid, but they might not understand how to do the process as well. We do work with people to explain the Missouri buys process, and that's the portal that everyone has to go out to in order to bid on these offices or any bids for the state of Missouri. So we try to help. If we bid and we don't get any, if we submit for an RFP and we don't get any bids on these offices, the first time myself or Director Vincent will reach out to the senator and the rep of those districts to inform them that it's under bid. We hadn't gotten any bids on the first bid. We're going to open it back up. And if you have anyone in the community, please send them our way to try to get them to bid on it. Again, it's just become one of those issues we've seen over the last couple of years. Your smaller offices, your smaller transactions that happen within the rural areas, that they're just either there's a lot of people that have had it for over 20 years, the office, and they're retiring, and they're just, no one's there to step up in their place, that or they don't know the person's retiring, and no one's understanding that the bid process is open. Last year, prior to the fee increase that happened, we did, so license offices got to keep all 173 that we have across the state of Missouri. They kept over $60 million in fees from the fees that were prior to the last increase you did. We won't know the number, the full amount, until the end of this fiscal year, or the end of this year. So with that, I'll take any questions from you guys.
Further questions from the committee? Yes, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So you said we have 173?
We
So
do.
do we have one in every county?
Yes, I'm going to say yes, we did the last time I looked at it. So we have 173 that are out there, but we do have some counties that have multiple ones.
Right, yeah, I understand that.
I do believe, I think up north we might, in Worth County, or Worth County might not have one, but they're close to Bethany and Princeton.
Okay, so they just travel there.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned in your testimony that some people look at Modifies and say, I'm not sure I want to do that. Is it because it's too complicated? Can we make it easier? Or is it because they ask for personal information? Or why do people say I don't want to?
The probably the conversations I have with licensed offices or people that are doing it is the amount of just paperwork they have to do for the state in order to enter into a bid process, because they're becoming a contractor for the state, and that's your larger entities that bid on things for the state, they have offices and people that do that, and they're very well versed at doing that.
This is just one person
This
filling
is
out
just
all the-
one person filling out the forms.
So it's not, can we make it easier?
We try, like we have over the years, and we've seen great success with that, but I still think the when you have a rural area that has, maybe the license office is open 3 days a week, and they just don't see a financial benefit for them to run that as a business. A lot of times in the rural areas now, we have just people doing it, or organizations that do it to serve their community. They're not doing it for the financial
I used to
gain.
represent Gasconade County, and the Farm Bureau did it.
Yep.
And so that was you mentioned 3 days a week, so we are flexible on times, like they don't have to be open from 8 to 5.
Right, and that's all part of their bid process.
Okay,
So
that's
they're
part of
going to
the bid.
bid on it based upon how they believe they can run the business, and if they think, based on transaction volumes that they see from years past, if they can do it 3 days a week. Now, someone might bid and say, I'm going to do it for 3 days a week, but another person might say, I'm going to be open 5 days a week. Well, in the eyes of the state, that looks better for
Yeah,
us to have it
absolutely.
open 5 days a week.
But we do have offices that are open 3 days or half
Yeah.
days or something.
Yes.
Okay, all right,
Especially in
thank
I know Mercer County up north they're usually about 3 days a week.
Okay, thank you.
Further questions for this witness? Seeing none. Thank you for that testimony.
Thank
Any other
you.
witnesses here to testify in support? Senate Bill 1020. Seeing none, any witnesses here to testify in opposition? Senate Bill 1020. Seeing none, are any witnesses here to testify for informational purposes only? Seeing none, that will conclude public hearing on Senate Bill 1020. With no further business coming before the committee, I move that the committee stand adjourned. Do I have a second? Been seconded. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed, say no. The ayes appear to have it. The ayes do have it. The committee is adjourned.